in a world where drones are
Nope,
king,
not a world. Not a world.
in a land,
Not that
where,
either.
in a time,
We're trying to make a trailer for it.
two drone pilots, Davy and Mike, talk about their daily activities as drone pilots, taking photos for real estate, construction, and inspection industries.
And we're recording. Hey, Davey. How's
Hey,
it
Mike,
going?
what's up?
Hey, guys. Welcome to
Who are
Double
you
Shot
talking to?
Drones.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Hey guys,
Talking to you.
I thought we were
Talking to
talking
one
to one
person.
person.
I'm talking to one person.
Yeah, okay. So Fred, that one person named Fred.
The one person out there named Fred. Hey, Fred. How you doing?
All right, Fred.
So, Davey and I thought, well, we're doing this every week. This podcast is all about, you know, what telling people what we do, how we make a living with drone photography and everything, helping other drone pilots out, right, Davey? Other entrepreneurs out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just yeah,
Yeah.
and
Um,
trying to motivate ourselves as well. I mean, it's a good way to motivate ourselves. But the big thing that everybody's talking about is I wrote it down, Davey, so I would not forget it. Hold on. Chat
ChatGPT.
Chat GPT.
Well, not necessarily just ChatGPT. You see
Yep,
what
it's other things. Yep.
what you were just reading there is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is
In a minute. Yep. In a minute.
only one leg of AI.
Hold on, Dave. She wants to say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good.
How was your camping trip?
Fun. I went with my friends.
Oh, you did? Yeah. I heard it rained.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It was all swampy
Uh-huh.
puddles.
But that's
Okay.
part of the adventure, right?
Yeah. Sounds like Woodstock all over again, right?
Yep. All right. We're right in the middle.
Okay, goodbye.
We'll get back there.
See you later. So like ChatGPT is is in from my knowledge, you know, I mean, there's other like AIs that will do other things and not chat. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
ChatGPT is a specific, you know, it'll help you with writing narrative. You know, I mean, writing stories, writing a book, writing paragraphs for Instagram or stuff like that. There, where content creating, you know, like you and I were talking about the other day, you know, these NFTs and, you know, these I said to you about, I put a husky on a surfboard with a drone flying over its head the other day, you know. I mean, I might have the photograph
Yep.
there, but, you know, it literally sit there and you just type that in, and the next thing you'll get 6 pictures, and if you don't like them, you just say try again, and it gives you 6 more. That's not Chat GPT. That's content.
Well, that's content creation based
Yeah.
on
Or
what you tell it, and it creates a graphic.
correct.
And the one that I use and like is the Microsoft one with off of Bing. It's Dall-E. It's
Yes.
DALL hyphen E, and I used it to because we're trying to do that pre-storm video or documentation idea for
Get back on. Leave it there.
for a lot of coastal homes or any home that wants documentation. And so I said, look, I want a drone flying with a hurricane and hurricane, storms, a drone, epic drone photos and flying over, house and all kinds of stuff. And it spewed out like the most amazing 4 images I've ever seen in my life. And I'm an artist and I've been a graphic artist for my whole life. I cannot do that. There's no way. I mean, if I did it, it would take me 2 days to do it. It spewed out in 5 seconds. 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds, and it gave me 4 different versions. And when I edit this, I'm going to put it right up here. I'm going to you're going to see the versions up here somewhere.
But to a degree, you're using TikTok now. TikTok is AI.
Yeah, there's a lot of AI in TikTok as well. Yeah.
You can and Instagram, I mean, it's like you can add sparkles and banners and
Well, that's effects and stuff, but how you and
but
I
it's artificial intelligence.
how you and I think you and I both have used well, I first discovered ChatGPT and Davey knows I have a hard time pronouncing this, so I wrote it up big for myself tonight. Kind of an inside joke, isn't it, Davey?
Yeah.
Anyway, my wife was using it. She's an art teacher, and she tried using it for her art, curriculum, basically. And it was actually making her job easier, when she had to do write-ups and stuff for assignments and stuff. And so she showed me it, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I talked to you about it, and you said you were already using it a little bit. So I started using it, and for like emails and well, I haven't really done a whole lot with emails, but write-ups for my business, my drone business. How to introduce one of my aspects of my drone photography to to a realtor, to a construction manager or whatnot. But and then also it wrote up the back of the pre-storm documentation video, idea. I mean, I'm just not good at copywriting like that. My wife is really good. She would usually write something up for me like that, but it spewed it out. I told her what I wanted and it spewed it out like that. So it's already, if you guys aren't using ChatGPT currently, you're behind the ball, I would think, right? Right, Davey? I mean, if you're not thinking about using it right now.
I mean, I would agree. I think.
By the way, Dave.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you have your shot? Go on.
Yeah.
Fireball.
There you go. Fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah. I would think the younger generation are dealing with it.
Well, I was really surprised. My son, who's 13, he knew so much more than I did. He was like, "Dad, that's not how you pronounce it," and da da da, and and all that. And I'm like, when did you ever use it? He's like, "Oh man, come on, Dad." So it's him being a student, my daughter being a student, and my wife being a teacher. She just went to a AI teacher conference in Orlando, and she came back like just absolutely floored, like kind of scared, but floored too on what AI is all about, when it comes to teaching.
Well, as much as there is a positive aspect to it, there's a huge negative aspect to it,
Huge negative. Yeah,
we're all getting to see on a daily basis now with all these commercials and ads and all this,
And then I think I told you I was on a Bees 360 job about 6 months ago, and this guy, the homeowner, the insured, he said he did lighting for ESPN. Some of their sport setups and stuff like that. He did lighting, but he also knew a lot of sport photographers, and he was really in a bad mood that day. He had just come back from Arizona, I guess, on a shoot, and he was just spewing stuff about AI, how it's going to change his livelihood, photographers' livelihood, graphic designers and all that. And it's going to change it very quickly if, in maybe a year or 2 years. Well, this is 6 months later and it's already, it's already changing.
I
So
mean, anybody that was on Fiverr or anything like that, designing logos for
you can
people,
design your own in Dall-e.
dude, you go in there and you can design logos all day long, but there's still people that don't know about it. I mean, and they
Yeah,
just don't want to,
that's true.
they don't want to accept it and they don't want to go there, so they'll still go to, and they prefer to talk to a human, and they prefer, until they realize that you don't have to talk to a human, you don't have to talk to anybody. You type it in and it spits it back, and then you can tell it to change colors or do whatever else, add 3 words.
So what we kind of think, we talked about this before, we think AI is, it's just, it's going on that curve. It's here and it's going to go.
But how do we how do we monetize it?
How do we monetize it? Like the other, we're doing these TikToks now, right? We're after that SOAR meeting we had with Mark Stone.
Yeah.
We're doing TikToks every day. We're doing.
Did you see my latest TikTok?
I did. Yours are off the chain. I'm like, I gotta consult with Davy on how to up my TikTok game.
Did you see the one?
I saw the one you were tracking that bike.
No, yeah.
I gotta ask you about that.
No, the latest one. Did you see the latest one?
What, the one today?
The rooster.
Oh yeah, it falls over. Dude, I'm gonna put that on here. I'm gonna put that on here.
Yeah, it's like
right there.
It's like 12 seconds long. Yeah.
Oh my God, I wanted to share that one, but I definitely liked it. Yeah, it was funny.
Hang on, there's a lot of AI involved in that, because
really,
well, I mean, to the extent that the algorithm in TikTok determines what time of day each day to post your TikTok.
Yeah, like from Monday through Thursday, isn't it like 3 to 6 or something, or 4 to 7?
Every day? No, every day is not the same. Every day is not the same. It's every day is not the same.
So you'll get more views based on when you post those.
Yes, of course you have to hashtag correctly, but
right.
You get more views at specific times of the day.
Because I have noticed some of yours get like 1,000, 2,000 views, where mine might get 350.
Well, I don't think you really hashtag as good as you should, or as good as
I know. Well, speaking of that, I went with Chat, GPT, and I asked it, what would be, some good hooks as well for drone content or drone photographer, drone videographer for TikTok or social media. And some of mine that got more views than others, I use that content. I use that hook. But you're right. I do need to get better on the hashtags, and I'm definitely learning. It's definitely a learning curve on that.
I mean, Mark Stone said between 5 and 10. I always go over 10.
You go over 10?
I go over 10. Why not?
I do 7 to 10. That's what I do.
I mean,
7 to 10.
What difference is it?
I don't know.
I've got Naples, I've got Cape Coral, I've got Fort Myers, I've got Lee County, I've got, all of these real estate areas that I cover.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like, you put five real estate areas, you've already done 5. Now you want to do drone photographer, drone video, so I'm always at 10 or 12, it's like.
That's true. So okay, so you notice I noticed you posted that Double Shot Drones podcast one that I sent you. And I actually did one today. I did a cap cut one. We kind of put it all together. And so some of the hashtags on that were, you know, drone content, drone podcast.
On mine?
No, on mine.
Okay, yeah.
You'll notice. And then drone photography, anything to do with drones. And anything that all the pictures were all, you know, kind of, and also it was, because the pictures were from the Sunshine State Drone Expo.
Okay.
So I actually forgot to put that hashtag in there. But yeah, so you know, we're trying to get more views on the podcast. We'll get there. I mean, we're you know, we're just crawling here. But if you guys like our content,
Fred,
please like and subscribe.
Fred,
What's that?
Fred, we're only talking to Fred.
Fred, if you like our content, please like and subscribe so we can continue to do this this chatting about drones. But actually, I would do it for absolutely, you know, no views. It's kind of therapeutic for me.
Yes,
I don't know about you,
I just actually text you the best times to post on TikTok in the USA.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at it. Oh, geez. According to region. It's according to region. Or no?
Not necessarily. It's
Okay, today's Tuesday, so the best time would be, whew,
4 a.m., 8
Yeah.
a.m., 10 a.m., and 3
Yeah.
p.m.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that though. I mean, we're busy, so you know it's hard.
But you can do it, and you can time
Schedule it. Yeah, you can
Schedule it. Thank you.
That's
Schedule
true.
it to go out at that time.
So back to the AI thing. So oh well, let's roll into Instagram. So I went to Drone Launch Academy Live, Drone Launch Live in Lakeland. You didn't make, and there was a Instagram expert there on how to tag your Instagram algorithm is definitely different than the TikTok one, which we discovered. And it's all, so you tag it, you do all that, but, or not tag it, you hashtag it, but then you can also tag it. So I did a Sunshine Skyway recently, the video and photos of the Sunshine Skyway. And so some of my hashtags were, you know, Sunshine Skyway, Sunshine Skyway South Fishing Pier, you know, anything in that area, and then the boat that went through and all that. But some of my tags were a little different. It was like, you know, Friends of the Sunshine Skyway, you know, it's like a group. You know, I went Tampa Bay is awesome group, you know, just stuff like that. Anything to do with, you just put in a few words and then it would just like spew, like I put Tampa Bay in again and said Tampa Bay, you know, water, you know, something lovers or whatever. And then what happens is there's thousands of people on those groups and your content will show up when they're searching for that. So it's kind of like a, right? It's like a
Yes, but yeah,
double
yes,
way of getting noticed.
but that's one bridge. You know, I mean, that not too many people know about. I mean, I drove to Tampa. Now I've driven through Tampa numerous times, you know what I mean? But the first time I drove through Tampa, I didn't know anything about that bridge. And I came down there at night and I was like, oh my God, look at this. And I'm driving and I'm trying to photograph and I'm doing all this. And then I was like, oh yeah. So then I, you know, as a photographer, I did a little research and I'm like, okay. But those groups are very condensed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
you know,
There might be 1,000, 1,500. And then yeah, but what the Tampa Bay is awesome group is
yeah.
huge. I mean,
Oh,
that's like
I know.
huge.
Well, yeah, because when you put it in and it's it says there's like 234, you know,
Right. Yeah.
thousand, you know what I mean? You should be in the couple 100,000 region if you're going to
Right.
pick a hashtag,
Right.
not the 34 million. because that means there's 34 million people potentially looking at it, which means that 34 million people could potentially be putting something in at the same time, which means your thing is just going to disappear.
Good point.
You know what I mean? It's
Especially
like,
that billion one.
yeah. The idea is not to pick a hashtag with millions of viewers on it, because that means that, let's just say those 34 million people put something on at the same time. They're just going to go, like
Yeah,
that.
that's true. You're gonna be like a
Disappear.
blur. Yeah,
So you want to be like, in the 100 to
that's a
200,000,
good point.
150,
Actually, I
and that
never
way
thought about that.
that way it sort of sits, you know what I mean? And then you're getting that's part of that algorithm, you know what I mean?
And another thing he said, this guy said, his name escapes me, but I'll put it up here somewhere. He does, like, if you go to his web page or his Instagram page, it's all like top down ships. It's all ships, like tankers, anything to do with water. It's, he does have like whales and stuff too, but it's like, and it's all very consistent. Whereas I'm a little wild. I'm like all over the place with some of my stuff. And I thought, well, that's more interesting than, something that's all the same content, type, you know. I've seen Instagrams like that, and you know what? And it's pleasing to the eye. Right? Have you
Yeah,
seen
but
that?
that's what he's doing. He's a fisherman, you know.
Well, he's not a fisherman, but he that's just what he chose, I guess. I
Yeah,
think he's in Cape Cod or something like that area.
yeah,
So yeah, that's his it's all
his
shrimp
niche.
trawlers and
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Which is very cool for top down photos. Um, but he does other stuff too. I mean, he does, it's just all top, but it's all top down and it's all photos. None of it's video, just photos.
I mean,
And
that guy that I told you about on TikTok or Instagram there, he's in Philadelphia and he chases the train with his drone across the bridge.
oh, I know, that's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, but he
8 minutes,
said
9 minutes.
he he posted something. I was reading through his posts there last week, and he posted something that says he's going to take a break from the train chasing videos.
Wow.
I'm like,
That was it. That's what got him his followership.
bro, you were getting 700 views, 700 views, 700 views, 250,000 views.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, but I get it. It's like,
Yeah, as a creative person, you want to create, you want to
yeah, he's
do
out there
different
in the
things.
snow. He's put his drone on the snow. I mean, and he must what do you call it? When you pick a spot, like a tower, and you want the drone to go around the tower, what do you call it? Point of interest.
Point of interest, yeah.
Yeah, he must point of interest the train and
Or
just let it do its
or
thing.
track it. It looked like he might
Or
even
track it, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he tracked it.
Because that's like,
But yeah, I want to kind of get back to the AI
right,
thing. So my wife, like I said, she was happy, but she was a little scared when she came back from the conference. And I kind of was like, look, I equate this, like, this is kind of a revolution we're going through, right? And what was the last revolution? With computers, right? The internet. So you either embraced it or you just didn't embrace it. And then you kind of fell by the wayside until you really had to embrace it. So I think this is the same thing. We got to kind of embrace it and see how it can work for us. And it's not going to take over. I mean, that's just not going to happen because as far as teaching goes anyway, because there's always the human element in teaching and there always will be. And I was trying to tell my wife that I'm like, it's going to be an aid. It's going to be a teacher's aid. It's actually going to make your life easier if you use it correctly. And she is already kind of doing it, and the robots cannot replace the human element of things. So once you have that in the equation, you're still okay. You know, I mean, as far as a lot of, aerial video and stuff like that, there's still a human element to it. If you're going to be doing video of a certain house, unless it can find video that was previously done, right, of that house or photos of that house,
Look, I mean, look at
you're still going to be employable.
yeah, but look what people are doing now with an empty house and you want it staged.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you
It
press
still
a,
doesn't look as good as the actual staging, though.
well,
wouldn't
it
say?
gives an idea. Of course, it doesn't look as
Yeah.
good as actual staging because it's, artificial, but at the end of the day, it's what's going to become the norm because,
Possibly.
people use it and, and again, it's cheaper. It's
Well,
cheaper
yeah,
than
that's true. But
it's,
higher end homes are still going to want to be staged, with
yes,
actual
and high-end homes will be
staging,
staged, but
furniture. But okay, so if you're a staging company and maybe you need to learn how to do virtual staging as well. So you can be there when it really flips over.
well, all the guys on Sky Eye are like
Yep.
talking about virtual staging and
Yep.
it's
It helps, I guess, but I
because
still,
it saves money. That's the
it
thing.
does. It's
All about the dollar. It
it's all
saves
about the
money.
dollar. But we're at 4 minutes.
Everybody's always, up in arms about it until they realize, oh, that just saved me, $100 every time I do this. I mean, I don't have to pay an editor $100. Now you know,
So back to the AI then. So where do we think it's going? Like where do we in 2-3 years? Are we just going to be writing up a script and all of a sudden the drone's going to take off from our backyard and do the job?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's
it's
kind of already
already.
doing that with
I
deliveries and
mean,
stuff. Right?
I could sit here right now and, waypoint your house
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
lake,
Yeah.
and then I could go up there with my drone tomorrow and sit down in your backyard and have a beer, and my drone will just go do its thing
Yeah.
from here,
Yeah.
or my house in Ireland, I mean,
Yeah.
I could waypoint my house in Ireland, get on the plane, go over there, sit
But
down.
you would have to, what I'm saying though is, are we gonna have like these staging areas, like this whole field full of like boxes, and these drones just start flying up and doing okay, doing this house, doing this
Well, what's
construction
going to
site.
happen is
You know what I
there's going to
mean?
be no more fireworks. Because they all do them with drones now. It's safer, it's cheaper.
Maybe that's something we should get into, buying 1,000 of those drones and
Well, you got to buy 1,000 drones to do
learning
a.
how to program them, and that's some good money there for sure.
They're charging like $40,000 a show,
Maybe we
50,000.
need to get one of those guys on here, interview him.
Well, actually, I should contact Adam Novak, the Adam Novak,
The Adam Novak.
the Adam Novak. Yeah, I want to get Adam on here.
Why does he do that, or?
No, but he has mentioned it in the past that he would like to get into you know.
Well, yeah, but he's a, like me, he was a graphic artist or graphic designer before he got into drones. There's always going to be that creative aspect. That's not a bad deal there. So we're at 2 minutes, right? Does it seem like this podcast went fast?
Well, we still have to get our last minutes done. I mean, when we get to 2 minutes, we should tell our guest. I mean, okay, at 2 minutes, we should tell our guest to
We're at 153 now.
we should tell our guest. Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been nice having you here. A few last words before we go, and let them
Yeah,
speak.
like and subscribe and all that good stuff, please. It helps us continue to do this content.
Well, that should be at the 1 minute mark. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
We're at 127 right now. So
Yeah, but my point is we should clock this because we have to get this done. You know what I mean? We have to get this done. Like at 2 minutes, we say to the guest, Fred, thank you for joining us this evening. You get a minute, we've got a minute left. What would you like to you know,
We're at
and
1
then
minute right now.
that gets it to 1 minute. Then you or I will say, okay, well, thank you guys, or thank you, Fred. Thanks for coming by. Like and subscribe and keep watching our channel. And it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
And it's good night from him.
It's good night from him. All right. That's fine. We got 38 seconds left. I usually stop it there, but what's that drone behind you?
Yeah, I was on the beach there.
Oh, so you took a picture of your drone?
Yeah, with my phone.
Oh, what were you flying the drone with?
My remote,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Your remote, yeah. I love that. That's awesome, dude. That'd be a good TikTok right there.
Well,
Yeah,
I
9 seconds.
actually have video of a drone in wind, so I'm going to put that. That's my next TikTok.
I like it. Yeah. There. Let's see if I can. Right there. Let's see the island in Florida where you got to take a boat and or car ferry to get to the island. So that was on Saturday, right? And then
That was on Saturday, yeah, and then I had the pleasure of Mike joining me.
but before that, I did the shoot. I drove down at 10 a.m. Oh my God, 2 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes. 10 a.m. Got to the island. Couldn't find the boat to get on. Somebody was supposed to pick me up, and I'm calling him. And he's like, "Yeah, we're right here. We're waiting on you." I'm like, I'm exactly where you told me to be." And they were like way down the dock. They're already in the boat. A whole bunch of the people that were going to be for the second part of my gig, which was I was hired to take Airbnb photos of this Airbnb, drone photos, but I was also hired to do drone video of the 50th birthday party of this client, husband. So they were trying to do the surprise party and get everybody on the island.